Today's Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Carolina Trust Federal Credit Union.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, about the people and the places where we live. Just look at all the reasons why we call this home. And I'm living local. I'm living local 'cause it's where I love to be.
Good morning. You're watching the Living Local Carolina Financial Friday Community Panel, and I'm August, Carolina Trust Brand Ambassador. September is Suicide Awareness Month, so today we have some very special guests to give us some information about resources and different ways to raise awareness in our community. So today we are joined by Abby Susie, who is the walk chair of the Myrtle Beach Out of the Darkness Walk, and Danielle Lewis, who is the founder of Reach Empowerment. So ladies, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having us.
And I know, your roles in our community play such a big part in kind of helping to raise awareness. And I feel like one of the biggest ways that, you can really help with suicide awareness and prevention is through kind of breaking that stigma and, kind of talking about it. So what are some of the different ways, I guess, that you all in your roles are able to raise awareness for suicide?
For me, it's really getting out into the community and letting people know that there are those resources and that there's other people that are, doing these walks. There's local support groups. There's a lot that people are not aware of that are right there in their community.
Right.
And I agree. It's very important. I always live by live experiences will connect you with people very authentically.
Yeah.
Just having that you're not alone. I've been in this situation, and here's the resources that I can share to help you. It's important to just say, hey, are you thinking about suicide, and have that dialogue conversation.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, like you mentioned, being able to live through experiences and hear other people's experiences, I feel like a lot of times when it comes to mental health or other things that may be stigmatized, you kind of tend to see a list of resources, that are kind of just like ink on paper and not really feel that connectedness or making it comfortable for people. So I know we talked about, vaguely some of the resources. What are some of the different resources that you ladies know of in our community that people who are having thoughts of suicide or, struggling with a mental illness can use?
For us, with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, it's really, the local walks, reaching out to the AFSP. Their website has a lot, again, of things you can reach out to on there, but there are numbers on there that you can reach out to that will automatically put you in touch with someone, like the 988 number, or someone there that can help you find someone in your local community to call and make an appointment with. And then there's the walks, which you'll meet tons of people. There'll be resource tables and stuff like that.
And also, you have those local Waccamaw Mental Health, Little River Medical.
Yeah.
My organization actually kind of helps connect people who don't have an outlet with different counselors and different resources that way as well.
Yeah, wonderful. And Abby, I know, like we were mentioning with some of the walks, you are the walk chairperson for the Myrtle Beach Out of the Darkness Walk. So will you tell us a little bit about what that walk is, how it got started, and the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention?
So the walk in Myrtle Beach, or I guess all out of the Darkness walks, were started in early 2000. The Myrtle Beach walk was brought on not long after. They do them once a year. They're different than the big walks that they do all over the United States.
Okay.
Once a year, there's an overnight walk that they do. These are smaller. They're like a mile, more community-based.
Yeah.
There's resource tables. There's a lot of fundraising, local companies that become sponsors, teams you can make with your family or your employer, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And how did you kind of get involved with the walk here in the Myrtle Beach area?
My husband and I moved here 2.5 years ago, and we were involved back in Massachusetts. We lost our best friend in April of 2019, so after that we got heavily involved. And when we moved down here, it was during COVID, so there wasn't much going on. There was some virtual stuff. And last year we got involved with volunteering, and this year I'm chairing the walk.
Well, that is absolutely wonderful, and I cannot wait to hear more about the walk and other resources when we come back from the break. Welcome back to the Live in Local Carolina Financial Friday Community Panel. Before the break, we were talking with Abby, who is the walk chairperson for the Myrtle Beach Out of the Darkness Walk. Abby, can you tell the people at home that are interested maybe in learning more about the walk or actually being involved how they can go about doing that?
Sure. The walk is October 22nd. It's at Broadway at the beach. It starts at 11 a.m. Right now we have, I'd say, 160 walkers.
Wonderful.
I think 80 teams.
Yeah.
We've raised close to $20,000. Our goal is $60,000, and that's a makeup of sponsors, fundraising, and merchandise sales. And
Awesome.
it's about a mile around Broadway, so it's not a huge
Yeah, exactly.
long walk.
Yeah, and you can kind of take your time. So I know you were mentioning the fundraising efforts. What does the money that is collected through fundraising with this walk? What does that go towards?
It helps with local resources, pamphlets and stuff that go to schools, pamphlets that I hand out at tabling events for people to learn more information, whether it's about veterans, community information for who you can reach out to, where you can reach out, and other services that are in your area.
Wonderful. And for people that may be interested in kind of sponsoring or putting together a team, kind of what does that look like for this walk specifically?
So you can sign up right online. You can create a team, whether if it's a loved one you lost, someone that's suffering from mental health issues, you can name that team based off of that, and then others can join under you, and it's just at the AFSP website. And same with sponsorship, and we can share that information with you to give out to others.
And I know this walk is a great community event that brings people together for a common cause. What are some things that people at home can do on a day-to-day basis to help raise awareness and help their loved ones in their life that are going through mental health issues?
I think just simply talking about it, we have to be able to have that dialogue. It's an uncomfortable conversation, but it needs to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's important for everyone to understand and know that on an average, 130 people die from suicide, just a day.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's serious. So if we start having that conversation and having that open dialogue, and even asking, hey, are you thinking about killing yourself? Like that's the start of it to help get those resources.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, those conversations can be uncomfortable. So get into a place to where you personally are comfortable talking to the people that you love about those things, I think are, so important. And Danielle, I know that you have a nonprofit organization called REACH. Can you kind of go into that a little bit with us, and even just the breakdown of what REACH itself means?
Absolutely. REACH Empowerment REACH stands for Restore, Educate, Achieve, Connect, and Heal. So we're restoring those families, that broken hope. We're restoring that back. We're educating the community, educating families, educating individuals about the resources that are available.
Yeah.
We're helping you if you're having goals, achieving those goals.
Yeah.
We're connecting you to the right places, the right individuals, the right counselors, and then you're ultimately starting that healing process.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And what kind of made you decide that we had a need in this community for a nonprofit organization like this?
Oh, absolutely. On a personal note, I actually struggled with mental health issues, having anxiety, depression, and not recently, but in the past I have attempts of suicide.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really any resources available, didn't really know where to turn to.
Right.
And we don't talk about those things, we don't have those conversations. If someone's wrong, something's wrong, we just kind of hide in the back corner or quiet about it.
Yeah.
And we don't have those conversations. So I created REACH as just a community awareness place. Hey, it's a safe space. Come and share. You're not alone. Get the resources that are available, and let's get the help that's needed so we can break that stigma.
Yeah, I agree. And that's so important, that you're able to, like we were starting off at, you're able to take personal, authentic situations and help people in our community, and that you were able, through your own personal experiences, to realize that there is that community need. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about REACH and how they're helping in our community when we come back from our break. Welcome back to the Live in Local Carolina Financial Friday Community Panel. September is Suicide Awareness Month, and today we have Danielle and Abby here with us, and we were recently talking about Danielle's nonprofit organization, Reach Empowerment. So Danielle, will you tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've seen here in our local community and different ways that you plan to kind of help those and work through different issues with your organization?
Absolutely. So Reach Empowerment does Mental Health Mondays. That is the first Monday of every month. Currently, because of COVID, it was on Zoom.
Yeah.
We're hoping in the year, to the beginning of the year, to kind of go back into in person.
Yeah.
And that's just simply having a safe space for people to share, to check in. It means a lot when you're asked, how are you doing?
Yeah.
And it just kind of goes from there. We have counselors online that, people are able to ask questions.
Yeah.
If they need more information, they can certainly get that. But it's just really just a safe space for people just to come and share and feel like they're just not alone.
Yeah.
We also every year for May, which is Mental Health Month, we have a big awareness and education event where our resources that we've partnered with, such as Walk On Mental Health and Little River Medical and some counselors that we have, just come out and have those table talks and ask those questions, and people are able to get the resources that they need and kind of go from there.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And, depending on where people are in our community, they may not be able to see some of the major needs and, the battle with mental health that you all see in your roles. What are some of the different things in our community that you all see that you would like to see change when it comes to mental health, over the next couple of years?
I think getting into schools would be a lot bigger. I'm doing something Thursday with someone else that's part of the AFSP. I'm going to a local high school and speaking. But just getting into school so kids know at a young age that they can reach out and not to be afraid, and that there are other people out there that can help them.
Yeah, for sure. We Carolina Trust does an I'm a Buddy, Not a Bully project where we talk about, bullying and the effect that can have on mental health in general. So being able to give them resources at a young age is super important. What about you, Danielle?
I would have to agree with Abby. Getting into the schools and having that conversation, those tough conversations. Suicide is the second leading cause of death between ages 10 to 34.
Wow.
So if we could kind of have that conversation early and provide those resources early, and then educate our parents as well.
Yeah.
If my kid's acting out, it may not be because of, he's having a learning disability or she's having a learning disability.
Right.
It could just be, they're being bullied and they are trying to work through that, just kind of recognizing the signs and understanding that.
Yeah, for sure. And, being in the roles that you guys are in, I know we kind of talked about some of the different issues that you are able to see through your own, special lenses, I guess to say. What are some of the things that you guys are currently doing and you encourage people at home to do to kind of help us reach those overall goals in the upcoming years?
I think, especially because social media is so big,
Yeah.
the majority of people are on it. If you see someone sharing something, reach out to them. Don't be afraid like you're annoying them if someone seems like they're having a bad day.
Yeah.
And the same thing is sharing resources that you see.
Right.
If someone says, can you please share this, like the new 988 number, anything, just share those things. It just takes one person to see that to know that they can reach out.
I agree with Abby.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I'm sure we're all more likely to see different resources being posted online, different personal stories being told, and doing our part to be able to share those with the people that we love, because we truly don't know how they may touch them. So, ladies, before we end our segment today, would you all share again for our audience at home some of the different resources here locally that we have that people can use if they feel like they're in need?
It's mainly the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. There's a website, which I know we'll share with everybody, and they can just go through there, and there's tons of websites listed, places to reach out to.
And like Walk On Mental Health, Little River Medical.
Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me here today, and thank you all for joining us at home for the Live in Local Financial Friday Community Panel.